Hi everyone, welcome back to day 13 of the drawing challenge, where we're going to be doing something as fundamentally important as the previous episode, because we're going to be drawing boxes but folded in lots of different angles and contortions. So this combined with the bent cylinders will help you form a lot of different complex shapes, but mainly anatomy. And we're going to start by doing two squares at random angles, and we are going to join the corners together. And this one is going to be quite a twisty, bendy one. And since this is only the planning stage, I am going to twist them all up, and we're going to see every single line, but when we actually draw the final product, we are going to only show what's immediately in front of us. But this is a good drawing exercise for creating more complex shapes, I suppose. And there we have it, our first shape. And our second one is going to be a little bit simpler, but we're going to make it nice and bendy as well. So these could be representative of torsos, bent over, and it wouldn't take a lot to transform them into more detailed objects by maybe cropping out some of the corners to make them smoother. Well, I'm sure we'll see in future episodes. But this is something you can have complete creative freedom over when you do this exercise. And frankly, we should be doing this quite often because there's a lot to learn from this. And this one is curved even more so, almost like you're trying to roll up a newspaper. But it's still a box in a way. You can imagine it's a cereal box. And even though the angle of the bottom face isn't quite right, it's art. It can't be wrong. All of these shapes can exist. So technically, it's not an error. And this last one is going to be barely folded at all. But we can't just learn how to do the complicated shapes. We might as well learn to do every level of complexity. So again, this is a lot more freeform than our previous lessons, where we are creating a lot of parallel lines. This is just playing around, experimenting, getting used to the technique. And now that I've drawn all four of my shapes, I've created a new layer, and I'm just going to take a thicker brush and go over the lines that we can see. So this is our twisting one, and we're going to do it like so. And I'm curious, with my lessons, would you prefer I take a bit longer on them and introduce a lot more colour? I'm planning on doing a lot more colour when it comes to the thumbnails, but what about at the end of each lesson as well? Because I know it takes up quite a lot of time, and I know I don't have the attention span myself to watch my own videos, so just let me know what you think. And yep, there we have our first shape. And once we've done all the outlines, much like the other lessons, we're going to then cut it into a couple of different segments so we can really see that 3D depth. And yeah, so it might be a bit difficult to figure out the proportions and correct angles, but that's why we do lessons, to get used to the concept. And something I've been really interested in, and I've practiced a little bit, but that's 3D modeling. So creating 3D shapes on different kinds of digital art softwares. But I'm not sure if I'd want to try that more, if I wanted to try perfecting basic art fundamentals or even some simple animations. But I'm sure I can do some of those in the future after these 30 days have passed. And when these 30 days have passed, I'm probably not going to be uploading every single day, mainly because it's a lot of work, but also I'm pretty sure the YouTube algorithm doesn't like me much right now. I'm not sure how it works. Maybe I should look into that. And what I find interesting in this shape is both faces could technically be the same size, but because the one on the left is slightly bigger, it gives the impression that it's closer. So if this was part of a larger picture with a background, I think we could give that impression. But since it's just in this empty white void, yeah, I'm not so sure. But on that, should I start doing things with different coloured backgrounds, maybe some beiges and such, so when I actually do drawings, they pop a bit more and they're not so straining on the eyes. I've got a lot of questions and it's not like I expect a lot of answers. I guess I'm just rambling on without much to talk about. But the more you see this and the more that I do it, the less intimidating it becomes. I always saw this exercise on different platforms like Instagram and such, and I always felt like this was one of the more advanced lessons that everyone does, but everyone does get taught in art school. But it's a lot easier than I thought it would be. Granted, I just messed up the angles of those lines. I could easily see myself doing this a couple of days in a row and becoming really good at it. So I think I'll be doing that off camera, and hopefully you'll see the results of that, because I've had more fun on this episode than I have with all the others so far, just because I've been able to have a bit more freedom with it, and I've seen a lot more of my progress compared to the other ones. But I would very much like to go back after these 30 days and practice some of the ones I've enjoyed more, because I think that's really going to allow me to grow more as an artist. And just, these are the kind of exercises you can just fill up sketchbooks with. Just absolutely fill pages and possibly help find your art style, get more confident with how your hand moves when you're drawing, and could even be used as a warm-up exercise quite often. So instead of just drawing random circles and lines as warm-up, try doing one of these exercises. It'll go a long way, and I think it'll even help you learn perspective a bit better, as this is something that you'll just naturally improve on as you spend more and more time with this kind of thing. And just to make things look a bit more professional, instead of shading, which I should probably do, but it would take more time, I'm just going to darken the faces of each box, just to make things a bit more clear. But because I've been drawing a lot with digital art lately, I think I'll actually be doing some of this on pencil and paper. Well, it's coming to the end of the video, so thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and had a chance to draw this yourself. So have a good day everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.